back in Lagos now. It's time for stories that are trending now. And Olamide Odekule is standing by to bring us up to speed. Good morning, Olamide.
Good morning, team. How are you doing today?
Very well.
I must say, I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation in Abuja. I think it's important that we continue to critically analyze legacy.
Absolutely.
I'll take it away. I've got some good stories for you guys. Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eye on the streets, and we do our best on a daily basis to bring you trending stories from indeed Nigeria and across the world. Now, I am about to go off script because of technology, but in our first story, we are still mourning the death of the late President Muhammadu Buhari in Nigeria. And something that is very troubling that is going on social media right now is the fact that people from the north are apparently celebrating his death. Troubling videos have come up on social media of people making a chant saying Buhari in quote, Ya Mutu, meaning he is dead. They are partying on the streets of certain northern cities, and it is extremely, extremely troubling. Very interesting. Let's take a look at social media. Narendra, I want to take some more constructive feedback about his death. Narendra Modi, the President of India, says, the Prime Minister of India says, I'm deeply saddened by the passing of former President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. I fondly recall our meetings and conversations on various occasions. His wisdom, his warmth, and his unwavering commitment to India-Nigeria friendship stood out. I joined the 1.4 billion people of India in extending our heartfelt condolences to his family, the people and the government of Nigeria, and he tagged the Nigerian President, President Bola Tinubu. Let's take some more tweets. Sarki says, I've never seen my grandmother cry like this over any public figure. She just heard about Buhari's passing and broke down completely. To her and many like her, he wasn't just a former president. He was a symbol of dignity, of northern pride, and of sacrifice. May Allah forgive him. Interesting. And we'll take one more social media submission. This is a submission by the president who sent out his condolences. He said, it is with profound sorrow and a heavy heart that I received the news of the passing of His Excellency, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, retired, my predecessor, who departed this life today, Sunday, July 13, 2025, at a hospital in the United Kingdom. President Buhari was to the very core a patriot, a soldier, a statesman. His legacy of service and sacrifice endures. He served Nigeria with unwavering dedication, first as a military leader and later as a civilian president. I think that there were deep scars left by the Buhari presidency, like any other presidency. But I think that the economic hardship and the insecurity that the North faced has overshadowed the regional loyalty that they will have towards him. But I want to use this platform right now to condemn speaking ill of the dead. It is never acceptable. Instead, I suggest that we have critical conversations and critical dialogue that can shape tomorrow's leadership and future presidencies. But we're going to go on a short break, and when we're back, we continue with more trending stories. You are welcome back, Nigeria, and you are still watching Trending Now here on the TVC Breakfast Show. We continue today's segment in the world of social media, where a disturbing video is making the rounds online, showing a university student in a heated confrontation with a man alleged to be her landlord, who was reportedly caught on tape threatening to kill her after she refused his sexual advances. Now, the student is a 300-level undergraduate, and she recorded this exchange, and she captured the man's voice making violent threats and suggesting that a 500,000 naira payment could cover up her death if he decided to kill her. Now, this visibly shaking student, she stood her ground, and she defiantly rejected the demand and called out his abuse. Take a listen to the short video.
You are going to die.
I'm going to die, Abby. Sharp, sharp, sharp. Okay.
No.
Why are you begging him? Leave him alone.
If I see you here, I'm not a... See, you are a rat. 500,000 will settle everything.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. I swear. You will lock me up. If you don't lock me up, you are not a man. Yes, if you don't lock me up, you are not a man. Are you not ashamed of yourself?
Now, social media is urging law enforcement to take swift action against the landlord, and they're calling for stronger protections for young women, especially those of us navigating off-campus and alone living, where power imbalances often go unchecked. This video is just a microcosm of the daily reality of several Nigerian women. There's a quiet crisis of sexual harassment going on in the country. We leave our houses on public transport, we are harassed on the bus, we go to the market, we want to buy foodstuffs, men grab us and they harass us. There's a quiet crisis going on. In job interviews, we're harassed. And so I think that's why this video is making the rounds and trending so much. Women are frankly exhausted. Let's take a look at social media. Small but Mighty says, honestly, this is pure wickedness and an abuse of power. That landlord should be arrested immediately. You cannot be using people's desperation for housing as an opportunity to exploit and threaten them. Or more, women deserve to feel safe where they live. I hope that she reports him and that he faces the law. Tumitokpa says, so the cost of a life is 500K or less. Those words from the landlord should not be taken with levity. He should be made to face the law to its fullness. Very interesting. Team, we're seeing that in some parts of northern Nigeria, people are throwing parties. They've created what social media is now calling the Buhari chant. They are celebrating the death of this man who, while he had his failures, also had some commendable, infrastructure and anti-corruption efforts. What do we make of this? How can we ensure that the conversation around his legacy, the legacy of his presidency, is more constructive?
When I saw the video, I felt sad. It's all these things. It really depends on where you stand. While some people are hailing him, other people are seeing very bad pictures about him. And look at those children. Those children are. Maybe you should just take it off.
All right. It's sad that we are seeing those videos coming from the north. I just hope that the root is we get to the root of where this video actually came from, because yes, some persons may be chanting all of this and they may not necessarily come from the north, but if it is from the north, it's a sad one. It goes to show that a number of them were not in sync with what the Buhari administration stood for. And so perhaps that is why we are seeing these, that's why we are seeing these videos that we are seeing coming from there. But he is being given a state funeral as it is, so they may sing, they may say whatever they want, but as it is, this is where it is right now. He's been buried today, and he's been accorded a full state funeral. For the video of the young lady who is being threatened by her landlord, it's a sad one really for me that this situation is happening. I hope that the security institution goes ahead to arrest him and do the needful.
Okay, and like the video we just watched for the late President Buhari is a very, very sad one, and it just says that legacies are very important. Of course, I do not agree, to people laughing and dancing that somebody had died, but I will also say legacy is very important, and it should serve a lesson, to our leaders now that when you're in power, you need to do well so that you'll be remembered for the good things. And also talking about the lady that the landlord did that to her, for us that live alone, we understand how it is, and we understand some of these harassments, and I feel like the landlord should really face the wrath of the law, because it's not right whatsoever. As women, we face so many things, and this should not even be a problem. Like 500,000 naira, and even some of these landlords, they don't even do it because of money. Like they do it for some very silly reasons, if I would use that word on TV. So I'm saying it like this because I live alone, and I know how it was difficult even getting a place to live, as a single person. So I think that this man should really be brought to book.
So I think anyone facing this kind of harassment should, not keep quiet, report, and this kind of landlord should be arrested. If possible, if it's within the law, the government should take over that property because it doesn't belong to him. He's a very, quote unquote, a very undignified or useless person. Kind of struggling with that word. So I think he should be arrested and be dealt with, decisively. For the children, jumping on the street, happy and all of that, well, I want to believe that there are some people behind the camera, behind the scene that we watched, telling these children to do this, because some of them ordinarily do not even know what they're doing. They don't know why they are happy or anything. They'll say from the North. It doesn't mean that the North is happy that Buhari, someone like Buhari, died. Some people will be happy, some will not. But it is between himself and God. And let us all remember that we will all die one day. It's a must. It's going to happen.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. I think what really stood out for me, going back to the story of the landlord and the young lady, is the fact that this man has the mentality that a female life is worth 500,000 naira. Very interesting and troubling. I'll move on now. Moving on, over the weekend, Lagos State held its local government elections under a statewide curfew. But while many Nigerians watched the process unfold from their homes and their phones, one viral moment has sparked heated conversation online. A video from Ikorodu shows what appears to be food items, half modules of rice, gari, and a portion of meat being distributed to voters who presented their permanent voter cards. Now, this clip, which has of course been widely shared, captures people queuing as food packs are handed out openly. Now, although the political party behind the act hasn't been confirmed, public concern has shifted to the bigger issue here, which we should all be worried about: vote buying in plain sight and the exploitation of poverty for political gain. This is a stark reminder of how desperation is used to influence democratic processes. And for many Nigerians, this isn't just about the local government elections. It's about a system where hunger is weaponized and votes are traded for survival. And we know, and we've always seen this in many parts of the world, that poverty is a tool that can be a potent tool that can be used to disenfranchise people. I mean, if people's primal needs, their most baseline needs of hunger, are not being met, how are they supposed to focus on voting or on manifestos or on good leadership? Here we're seeing a bag of rice being used as a ballot. It's shameful if you ask me. Let's take a look at social media. Odiuko Namba, I hope I got that right. She says, at this point, Nigeria indeed needs electoral reform. This, our system of voting, is not working. There has to be another process. I believe INEC is on it as we speak. Eze Obi says, the biggest economy in West Africa is owned by beggars. And Anyoma Man says, this is why their policies, actions, and inactions will always be geared towards weaponizing poverty. Poverty is a problem, not a weapon. Moving on now in the world of international news. Barcelona wonder kid Lamine Yamal is facing major backlash after details from his 18th birthday party triggered public outrage. And now the Spanish government is calling for an official investigation. The July 13th celebration, which hosted around 200 guests, has elicited criticism after allegations emerged that women were allegedly paid to attend based on their breast size and physical proportions, and people with dwarfism were used as party entertainment at his mafia-themed birthday bash. Now, social media influencer Claudio Calvo first made the claims online, and it sparked swift condemnation from advocacy groups and disability rights organizations. And now, the Association of People with Achondroplasia has even threatened legal action against him, and government officials have stepped in. With all these threats of legal action pouring in, it appears that what was meant to be a private celebration may have serious public consequences for one of Spain's brightest football talents. I think that when young people get famous, I think something they need to learn is a crash course in handling fame, in being responsible with the fame, because indeed fame is a very big but consequential gift. Before I take some tweets and hand over to my very capable team, I'd like you guys to please chime in with the hashtag TrendingNowTVC on any social media platform. I'd love to take your tweets and your opinions. Let's take a look at social media. Let's see what you guys are saying about Lamine Yamal. He's very loved, but also now increasingly very controversial. Sami Ugonabo says, so it's better to leave the dwarves hungry and unpaid. We don't say dwarves anymore, we say little people, Sami. Your question should be, were they paid fairly? Is it the regular entertainment they do, or did Yamal demand something undignified? Was he being disrespectful to any of them? Interesting. Hala says, why? Some people with dwarfism do this as a career. They know it's entertainment and they allow themselves to be hired for it. It's not like he kidnapped them and forced them to do what he wanted. They willingly took the job and got paid from it. This sounds absolutely ridiculous to me. Get a grip. And finally, well, that's all we have tweet-wise. Team, we are seeing, we saw a video of a local government, I don't know his position, but blatantly collecting people's PVCs in full view of the camera. For cow meat and for rice and for gari. When did we get so blatant with this sort of corruption, this sort of electoral rigging? It's unacceptable. The least I expect you to do is to hide. Don't let me catch you.
It is a crime in Nigeria to do that, even if you are hiding. And unfortunately, this gentleman did it blatantly. Has he been arrested? That's the question I'll be asking. Has he been arrested? If he has, when is he going to court? You know, because he committed a crime, he committed it clean. But you see, that kind of crime is like, if you are not selling, nobody is buying. You know, and if you don't have customers, you wouldn't bring your products out. So the people also that received, man, the lineup of people to be arrested will be just too long. It's unfortunate that we are having that still happening in Nigeria. One of the best elections ever recorded in Nigeria used option A4. Maybe we should go back to that if it is safe with the kind of political climate we have right now. For Yamal's birthday, 18 means now you're an adult, and but too young to be as rich as the young man, the young man is. I don't see anything wrong. That's my personal opinion. I don't see anything wrong with paying the dwarfs for entertainment purposes. It's business, and they are in that business. But this is one birthday that Yamal will not forget in a long while.
Well, I don't think he's too young to be wealthy. If he worked for it, that's his money. Unfortunately, he did some things that is not sitting well with some persons as it is. Even in Nigeria, we see little people being paid to entertain people. So if he paid them to do that and they were willing to do it, then so be it. None of them has come out to say that they were forced into entertaining people, except we haven't seen that. But if we have not seen that, it means that there was a contract they both entered into and they agreed to do the work. Even for the ladies that received monies based on the size of whatever was being measured, I think that they agreed. None of them is a child. They are all adults and should be responsible for their actions. And so if you agreed to be there based on what you are being paid, then you should take responsibility. Then for the local government, I think we are our own problems. If people came out to say, okay, I can do this job, because politicians get people who would do the job for them. They do not carry out these things by themselves. And so if someone decided to be that contractor, then he is part of Nigeria's problem and should be queried. So, and even those who lined up to collect these things with their PVCs, don't tell me it's poverty. There are a majority of persons who are poor who are not on that line.
Absolutely. And I'll start with the footballer story. I actually love Lamine Yamal. I love him so much. I think he's a fantastic player. And I think he works so hard, so he should have a beautiful birthday party. And if that's what he wanted for his party, I don't see a problem with it. Olamide, if you go to the clubs in Nigeria, you see little people. They are there, they are dancing, and they're taking their money.
And they love it.
And they love what they're doing. And they are, like, you love them when you see them already. And they love what they're doing. That's the most important thing. And if they were paid, I don't see any reason why the government is calling him for anything. As long as you've taken money and you've rendered a service, and he needs to enjoy his birthday. Gosh, football money is amazing, and that's what he's enjoying. So please let him enjoy himself. Now, moving on to the taking gari and meat to sell your vote. It's very sad. I ask people, after you've eaten the food, you've fried the meat, you've made it, but you've eaten, what next? What next again?
And that is the reason you find everyone complaining, yeah, I voted for so and so person, he's not doing the job. But others will say, well, let me just take my stuff. For this, I know until maybe 3 years or 4 years after, they will come back again. Let's just eat and settle today. But when you settle today, what happens tomorrow? Everything is gone. But before we go, let me just quickly, take back the word that I use, on the landlord, using the word useless. I intend to say that what he did was irresponsible. If the story were true, irresponsible and immoral, and it must be investigated and prosecuted.
Definitely.
Well, we'll have to draw the curtains on the program here now. Thank you, Olamide, for
You're
the stories.
welcome.
This will let you know, rather, that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with the ladies, and afterwards this morning with Yori Folarin. Stay safe. Bye for now.